Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. Wake y'all asses up. I'm your host, Amanda. And yes, I am back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. Maybe I should do like an Ask Me one day and just lean into a microphone and be like this. But that's kind of creepy, though. I saw Janet Jackson do one, and she was like, yeah, I'm Janet Jackson. Blah, 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 blah. She just basically, like, whispered into the microphone. I don't know. Like, Janet Jackson, I'm a fan, but sometimes I'm like, man, she's just too quiet sometimes. Speak up, Janet. Speak up. Anyway, back with another episode. Yes, I know, girl, you be on here saying you don't be podcasting, you gonna do more and you gonna be making more episodes and blah 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 blah. Look, I have a life. I have many things going on. I am working on some new projects, got some other ventures working, but I am here to entertain you for probably the next 30 to 40, 45, an hour. I'll never make it to an hour with this podcast. I just know for sure I'll just never make it to an hour unless I have like a guest on here or something. But that will be in the future. I am here now. And we have a lot to talk about. We got a lot to catch up on. Let me break out my list here. Gotta be prepared. Always gotta be prepared. Okay. Question number 1. I know y'all been wondering, where the hell have you been? To be honest, like I said, I have been working, but I've also been taking, small vacations here and there. I'm a big advocate, and you can ask all my friends this, you can ask my family. I'm a big advocate of, despite, you having a lot going on, always take time for yourself. Do some nice things, hang out with your friends, hang out with your family. So these past few weeks, we had like a couple holidays pass. 4th of July, actually, hung out with my family, went over to my grandmother's house, hung out with my grandmother, my aunt, and my cousin came over. Me and my cousin cracked jokes on my grandmother the whole time. It was a good time, and they were harmless jokes, y'all. Don't do me like that. I love my grandmother to death. And then, we just had Father's Day. I spent some time with my father, went to go see him. We had dinner together, just, hung out. I haven't seen my father in person since June of 2019, because, 2019 was not like a simple year for me because I had voluntarily quit my job. At that time, I was working at Sam's Club, and basically I quit Sam's Club to save my life. If you guys remember me talking about this in previous episodes, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure at 24 years old. And when I was 24, I was working at Sam's Club. It was a stressful job. They didn't respect me as an employee. And I can talk openly about it now because I will never, ever, ever, ever work for them ever again. I do still shop there every once in a while, even though I use my mom's card. But Sam's Club had me working 6 days a week, and it was like a part-time job. Well, part-time is like really 3 to 4 days a week, under 35 hours. They had me working 6 days a week, close to 40 hours. And some days they would like have me open and I'll stay until like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, which was fine. But then, if I had to close the night before, they'll sometimes have me come in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And that's just not good for my health. And they just never really took that into consideration. And also, transportation was a thing. I didn't buy my first car until I was 26. So I was Ubering everywhere. And then Ubering from where I lived to where the Sam's Club location I was at cost a lot of money. And they just really didn't take that into consideration. So I haven't stepped foot in that place, in that location, in a long time. I don't think I have interest of doing so, because I would just be so upset if they let the same management team, who ran me out of there, work there. So, yeah, but I had some good supervisors. It's not, what's that saying? Not all apples ruin the bunch. Because there was a couple of good apples there, I guess, whatever. I took some trips when I didn't leave the state. Went to the beach, hung out with my friends, went downtown a lot, which I think that's a goal of mine, to just go downtown a lot more this summer. Last summer, everything was shut down due to COVID, but now that, people are getting their vaccines and outside is opening up a little more, yeah, I'm going out. I'm hanging out with my friends, seeing sights, but, just enjoying myself. But let's get into some stuff. Um, stuff. So since the last time we spoke, we had a couple of versus battles. We had Soulja Boy versus Bow Wow and Keith versus Bobby Brown. Well, Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown. Fortunately, I was able to catch both of them. They were about like a few days apart. I remember Bow Wow and Soulja Boy being that Saturday, and then probably like 4 or 5 days later, Keith and Bobby Brown had one. And the reason why, a lot of people didn't really hear about the Keith and Bobby Brown versus is because it wasn't really promoted heavily on social media. I didn't see a lot of posts about it. But also what we learned at the end of the verses, or if you follow Keith Sweat or Bobby Brown or the verses page, after the verses, the gentlemen got together and they said, we only had 2 days to get this together. So totally understandable why, you really haven't heard a lot of it. First, I wanted to talk about the Bow Wow versus Soulja Boy versus. That versus was weirdly weird and entertaining at the same time. Now, when Soulja Boy came out, I was about 12 years old. I was going to Catholic school at the time, and Soulja Boy was kind of like the buzz, we had, when I was in middle school, we had our own laptops, but they weren't like ours to keep. We had to give them back at the end of the school year, which I don't know why. Side note, y'all, I'm going on a tangent. I don't know why they gave us these like laptops, because a majority of them, when we gave them back at the end of the school year, they were pretty much damaged. And it was like those type of laptops are like super fancy. They look like they cost $1,000, but if you see it now in 2021, they probably cost like $50. They were kind of big, had a CD-ROM in it, and it was the type where you can turn the screen and turn it into a tablet. I mean, in 2007, that was like the hype technology back then. And of course, you give them to a bunch of 12, 13, 14-year-olds, and, some parts of it were cheap. Like the little click thingy where you close it and it goes click. Mine broke off in 8th grade. I had the same laptop 2 years, and when I was like in 8th grade, I couldn't really get my work done because mine never worked. So when your laptop didn't work, you had to have like either a loaner or you had to do everything by book. All of our books were on our laptop, so we really didn't have to bring our books to school. We could have had our books at home. But, fortunately, you give these laptops to a bunch of teenagers and preteens, you don't know how to take care of anything. So I remember sometimes I had to do homework via the book or online or on someone else's computer or a loaner. But that's neither here nor there. Back to Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. Soulja Boy was a buzz when I was like in middle school because he was kind of like the first rapper, and he's really telling the truth if he ever brags about this, the first rapper to really go viral. Because at this time, 106 in Park was still on TV, but it was kind of it was revamping its image because now we're incorporating the internet and social media. But the biggest social media platform at that time, this was before Twitter, or maybe before Twitter was like known. And we had Facebook. I had my first Facebook in high school though, when I was like 14. But MySpace, I didn't have a MySpace. I didn't really care to get on the social media thing back then, and my mama didn't let me have one. So yeah. Anyway, so Soulja Boy was kind of like the first rapper. He uploaded his video to YouTube, and was cranked at Soulja Boy, the stupid dance we were all doing at the dances in school and all that stuff. So yeah, that was his coming into the industry. And we all know that Bow Wow came out in like the 90s with that one song, Little Bow Wow. You just don't know the way you move so fast across the floor. So they went head to head, and some parts of the verses I was kind of confused. I didn't know if they were playing or somebody was on drugs. I remember Bow Wow, or not Bow Wow, I'm sorry, Soulja Boy playing the same song 3 times. Now, I don't know the whole verses rules, but you should automatically be disqualified if, you play the same song 3 times. And it's a song, like me personally, I don't know. Because one, I don't really listen to the radio. When I'm in the car, I put on my Apple Music and I play what I like to listen to. So I wasn't sure like about what's the name of the song or whatever. But it was the same song 3 times. Now Bow Wow, he kind of followed the rules. Well, he did follow the rules, not kinda. He played all his hits. Some of them I did cringe because, okay, when I was in college, I dated this dude. We were together from when I was, well, I don't know. I can't say date. Maybe we were like in a situationship because as I get older, I learned the difference. I was in a situationship with this dude, and from 18 to 21, but we weren't like always together consistently. Um, and he kind of looked like a fake Bow Wow. So, amongst me and my friends, we call him Fake Bow Wow. Where am I going with this? Oh, okay. So, so anyway, I would play a lot of his music just if I'm like separated from the guy, and then for my ringtone for the guy on my phone, because oh my god, ringtones was a big damn deal, and I would have My Baby by Bow Wow and Jagged Edge. So most of the songs I heard, they bring back some memories, but they kind of bring back some cringeworthy memories too. Soulja Boy did a petty thing. Let's not forget the pettiness. Soulja Boy brought out Lil Romeo, and the guy who does the June bug dance that we see on Instagram and TikTok all day long. And this goes back to what I said in another episode. I don't think a Lil Romeo and a Lil Bow Wow versus would have really worked, in my opinion, because me, I don't know any Lil Romeo songs. I mean, the songs that they did play at that versus, they sounded familiar, but again, I didn't really care for Lil Romeo's music. I can't say as a person, that would be messed up to say, but his music I didn't really care for, so therefore I don't know any of the songs. But yeah, he brought him out. It was nice. They shook hands and everything. And they continued with the verses. Bow Wow brought out Da Brat and that one guy Pimpin' from Dem Franchise Boys, which was awesome. Dem Franchise Boys had hits, okay? And sadly, I don't think they're still together because one of them, I think his name was Buddy, he passed away from cancer. So I don't think Different Franchise Boys is ever getting back together. And I think Pimpin', he's still doing like growing up hip hop Atlanta, which I watch from time to time, but we'll get into that later. What else happened? At the end, I do remember them bringing out Omarion, and Omarion looks good, to be honest. He looks great. But other than that, it was kind of a weirdly entertaining versus between, Bow Wow and Soulja Boy. But again, it's Soulja Boy, and he's been running around calling himself Big Draco, and he's been running around claiming that he's the first to do this, that, and the third. But every time he says that, I always got to run back to my history books and just double check that my history books doesn't say Big Draco. It doesn't make any sense to me either, y'all. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so moving on to the grown folk stuff, we had Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown. And this one I pretty much enjoyed for numerous reasons. Bobby Brown, I am a big fan of New Edition, if y'all don't know that. The only thing I'm very upset with Bobby Brown is that he didn't perform Home Again. It's one of my favorite songs. My favorite New Edition album is Home Again. The whole album is like a banger, no skips. Like, if I still had that album on disc, I will play it in my car because I have a CD player in my car. Damn shame, I know. Whatever. Bobby did do some New Edition songs. Some of them I really didn't know because you have to understand, like, I like older New Edition, so like I like from Can You Stand the Rain to Hot Tonight. That's like the only New Edition songs I really listen to. Of course, I know like Popcorn Love and Candy Girl, You Are My... I know those, but they're not my favorite. I listen to like that era of New Edition. Shout out to Bobby for doing You Don't Have to Worry. That is literally like one of my favorite New Edition songs. And I like the version with Diddy, where Diddy is rapping. No, Missy Elliott is rapping and then Diddy, and that was my favorite. But Bobby did a really good job. But yeah, I gotta understand, Bobby is not young Bobby who was on the stage humping women and all that stuff back in the 80s and 90s. He is a lot older. I think he just turned 50 years old. So you gotta give him that. But he did a good job, sang some New Edition songs, sang some of his songs, like Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative. He did sing that at the end. But the star of the show, in my opinion, was Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat sang his, his hits, I wanna, and all that other stuff. He did Nobody Last, between him and D'Angelo's verses, I was waiting. Because if he didn't perform Nobody, and if D'Angelo did not perform Untitled, How Does It Feel? Nobody will be getting peaceful sleep in my house. I don't know if I said that about the Isley Brothers too in the last episode, but nobody would have not gotten peaceful sleep if he did not perform that song, okay? But Keith got fucked up. You gotta understand. He was drinking like all night. He was singing 2 different songs. He was singing Something in Common, and he was singing an ode to his love for Ciroc. And I knew that man was gone. I've seen people drink Ciroc in person, and I know how gone they get. That man was Gone, gone. And shout out to Black Twitter and the internet and creators on the internet. If you create memes and all that stuff, yes, I saw all the memes of Keith Sweat being drunk. Even I joined in on the fun, and I told people, go check up on him, see if he's hungover. Don't be too loud. He's hungover. But the Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown versus was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it. For someone, when Keith Sweat came out, my mom was in her 20s. So Keith Sweat's not in my, age group. But I do know the music because of, my parents. And same for Bobby Brown. Bobby came out in, 1983. I wasn't born until, 12 years later. But still relevant, still doing his thing. All right, let's see what else we got. Also, I've been taking time binge watching the Kardashian show. Unfortunately for some of the fans, unfortunately for others, Keeping Up with the Kardashians have ended after 20 seasons, 14 years on air. I mean, I remember when they first came on TV, I was like, man, I'm curious about this big family. They're goofy, and I give the Kardashian women kind of some praise. Because when I was growing up, and maybe some people in my age group, when we were coming up on TV, we saw Pamela Anderson and Christy Brinkley and Jenny McCartney, and these women were tall, white, blonde, blue eyes, all that stuff. But then here come the Kardashians. They're curvy. They have a little bit more meat on their bones. Their hair is long, but they don't wear weaves and all that stuff. Cool. It's okay to be curvy. It's okay to have long hair. It's okay to be tall or short, or just all that stuff. And I really, ever since I was 14 years old, because of course every 14-year-old goes through their awkward stage, I gave him credit for that. I gave him credit for it's okay to be, natural. And it's stupid of me to think that. So I binge watched the show. I actually stopped at season 6 because I actually got sick of the show. I thought I was going to make it to season 20. And some things were kind of problematic to me about the Kardashians. The more money they got, I think the worse it got. I mean, outside of the family, but they got more money and then more weird stuff just started happening to them. I remember when Kim bought her house, that house she had in Beverly Hills, people were coming to her doorstep. No, nobody wants that. People were jumping over her gate. Nobody wants that. Courtney and Scott. Courtney should have ran in the beginning. I mean, honestly, if you had a man act like that, you should have ran. But when Courtney was pregnant, I noticed she started getting territorial and she started thinking all this weird stuff. But again, you're pregnant, you're hormonal. Khloe Kardashian has said some things that um kind of offended me, or like kind of opened my eyes. She was kind of mean to her mom. I mean, she would say things that I would never say to my own mother. And sometimes I do joke with my mom about certain things, and my mom knows my heart. Like, she knows I'm not that type of person. But Khloe Kardashian, you don't ever ask your mom, "Are you effing retarded? Are you this? Are you that?" And also, I don't think I ever got to this episode, but I did speak openly about this one time. That Chris Jenner mentioned. Hold on, y'all. My brother texted me. Sorry. So Chris Jenner, she mentioned this genetic test. She really wanted her daughters to do. I understand that Chris Jenner's mom had like all these health issues and stuff. And Khloe was kind of like, I don't care, this, that, and the third. And that really bothered me because my mom came to me about the same test. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't have health insurance. I cannot afford that test, but I would really, really love to take that test um, to see about any diseases and stuff. I know, like, both cancer runs on both sides, and this isn't about like my family right now, but I would love to take that test. So for you to be so careless about that and not, like, just a precaution, just be reckless, it didn't sit too well with me. And there were times where, um times where she would, money was affecting their thinking skills and stuff. And I also saw, like, I think Bruce Jenner was suppressed, if that's the right word. He was kind of crabby towards his daughters, and I remember him blessing out Kylie when she wanted to wear makeup. He was just being so, like, nose up in the air about it. It was just, I couldn't finish watching this. And then when I stopped watching it, I thought to myself, man, I used to watch this stuff in high school and middle school and some parts of college. I stopped watching that show like probably my last semester of college because it just got really annoying. Like, I watched the episode where they all got married, Kim, Khloe, Courtney. I was there watching all her kids be born, when she broke up with Scott, all that stuff. But unfortunately, well, unfortunately for some, unfortunately for the fans, they did sign this big Hulu deal. So if you are a fan, they're coming to Hulu, which is fine. I have Hulu. If you know, whatever, it's the Kardashians. So yeah. So as we know, Joe Budden and Rory and Mal have broken up. We have a new Joe Budden podcast. Joe, his friends Ish and Ice. And then now Rory and Mal started their own podcast. They very recently just started it. They're about 4 episodes in. I'm subscribed to them both on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. I still listen to the Joe Budden podcast. I've been listening to Joe Budden since I was in college. So I'll still support him. Honestly, how is the podcast going, in my opinion? It's a little bit lighter in a way, but sometimes it gets very sad to listen to. When Rory and Mal were there, it was, Joe would kind of shut them down and be disrespectful with them. I remember one time Joe, the drops, new Rory and Mal, new Joe Budden. That's recorded by Rory's nephew. And in a way, Joe did kind of disrespect his nephew. And, Mal, he was Mr. Too Cool because he smoked a lot and just all this stuff, right? So now we have the new Joe Budden podcast, Ish and Ice. It's a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more funnier. You know what? I catch the Joe Budden podcast when I can. Sometimes I watch on the video on YouTube, but lately they've been putting their podcasts on Patreon, if you have Patreon, that's basically when people pay to watch you do stuff like OnlyFans, but they have like tiers and stuff, and the highest tier is like $45. The lowest tier is $15. Look, I got a car note and insurance and bills to pay. I'm not subscribing to anything. Rory and Mal's podcast, it's pretty interesting, even though it's kind of dull, but they just started. So, I mean, everything's not going to be extravagant and dull and all that stuff. But I'm still giving them a chance. I still listen. I hope they continue with their journey. I hope, when everything opens back up, they can go on the road too, just like they did with Joe. So I'll just leave that one alone because it's a wait and see situation. So, next thing I want to talk about is this Britney Spears conservative situation. So, I think I spoke about this a couple episodes ago. I think Britney really does deserve to be free. I think, again, I don't live in that house. I'm not in that family, but this conservator, whatever it's called, it needs to end. And they had Britney speak out in court, and she said she was depressed. She was not happy. They forced her to get an IUD. Let me repeat that for y'all. They forced her to get an IUD because they did not want her to have a baby, because they wanted her to keep working. Now, I'll get back to that. Now I'm hearing reports that Britney wants to retire. Now, we have these loyal Britney fans. Love Britney, love anything Britney put out. Do I think Britney Spears should retire? Yes, I honestly do. I believe that Britney Spears should retire. I believe Britney Spears should be off that conservatorship. I believe Britney Spears should have her own life. Britney Spears has been working since she was 3 years old. She is 40, 37 years. That's like you having a job at the steel mill, the gas factory, whatever, manufacturing, whatever. And you worked there for 37 years. And I know this for a fact. My parents worked in manufacturing. They worked there for 30 years. And they reached their 30th plus year. And they're starting to break down. They're starting to not have health. They're starting to have health issues, all that stuff. I think Britney is fairly healthy. You see her dancing on Instagram, whatever. That, okay? Britney is 40 years old. Britney does not want to be up there dancing and doing the oops, I did it again number at 45, 50 years old. Even Michael Jackson said before, hey man, I don't want to be up here doing Billie Jean at 50 years old. I want to retire. And entertainers have the right to retire. Britney Spears has been, let me go back to that point I'm trying to make here. Britney Spears has been working since she was a kid. She's been doing local talent shows, and then she did Disney Mickey Mouse Club, and then she went back to normal school for a little bit. Then she went back into stardom, did the music and all that stuff. Britney Spears deserves to retire. She deserves to sit down. She deserves to get off that conservatorship. She deserves to have that IUD taken out. She deserves to marry that young boyfriend of hers. She deserves to have another child. One, because I know she wants to have another child. She wants to have a daughter. Because those two boys she had that I feel like she gave birth to yesterday, because they just grew up on me. Because 2004 and 2006 or 2005, wherever years they were born, feels like yesterday, but it's really 16, 17 years. Let her just do her thing. And she doesn't need to be on that conservatorship. It's greed on behalf of her father. I do wholeheartedly blame her father for this because, first of all, I just need someone to understand this to me. And you could write me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Explain to me, why did they choose her father to run her conservatorship? And now this man is living in a trailer. Why? How did y'all pick who was going to be on this conservatorship? First of all, it's just things I don't understand. And even I sat and I watched that whole documentary on Hulu. And Britney, hell, went on try or went on the stand or talked to her lawyer or somebody and said, this ain't it, chief. Listen, I don't know nothing about a conservatorship, but I think Britney is okay. Let her do her. Free Britney. I'm with everybody else. Free Britney. Free Britney until Britney free. Damn it. And then her sister came out, right? They say her family's on her payroll. She has a brother, Brian. She has a sister, Jamie Lynn, her parents. And Jamie Lynn Spears came out and said, leave my broke ass alone. That's just the move for the rest of 2021, honestly. I can't wait to just use that. I need that on a t-shirt or something. What else about what's going on in that whole ordeal? Oh, her lawyer quit. I think her lawyer quit. And the mom, you know what? I got an eye on the mom because I think the mom is doing the right thing. She's trying to get a private lawyer and, trying to just end all of this. But question is to Ms. Spears, because she's divorced from Mr. Spears. Ms. Spears, why didn't you do this years ago? Did you see any type of abuse or something? Why don't you speak up? Well, of course, maybe because money was involved and maybe they because of Britney, she lived a lavish life and they didn't want to lose the money. But Ms. Spears, you are finally, I do lightly use that word, finally doing the right thing. And the more details I learn about this conservatorship, I learned that she can't drive, she can't vote, she can't pick out where she want to live, she can't do any of this stuff. That's just messed up because driving is people argue it's a privilege. It's a privilege and a necessity. She can't have a baby. That's a choice. She can't vote. I mean, how can you not? Well, okay, if she can't vote, I got a question. Maybe if a lawyer, somebody can tell me. So if she can't vote, she can't do jury duty? So she's automatically excused from jury duty. I don't know. Man, but the point I'm trying to bring home is y'all let Britney do her thing. Please. Let her do her thing. Damn. Y'all. This world. Ugh. All right, y'all. So some new TV shows have hit the airwaves. The first one has everybody talking. Let me catch my breath. I just went downstairs. All right. Sorry. I'm fat, y'all. I gained a lot of weight. So, I'm not same old skinny girl. And not only that, but I know TMI, I just got over a stomach bug. So I'm terrified to even burp right now because if I still taste sulfur when I burp, it ain't over to the fat lady sings, y'all. Trust me. But the Encore on BET, I really like the show. Only because a majority of the cast members on there are from my childhood, the 90s. Hello? 90s, early 2000s, excuse me. We have Pam from 702. We have Aubrey from Danity Kane. Keely Williams from 3LW. We have 2 members from Cherish, 2 members from 702. And who else am I forgetting? We have Shamari DeVoe. She was on Black. Boom like an 808. Circles like a figure 8. Feels good from head to toe. Okay, let me stop. Those are the characters. I might be forgetting somebody. I don't know. But that's who I remember on the show. It's a really good show. Bringing them together to make one super group. And I think it's a good idea because now if people would have said, why can't they hire random people to come together and make a super group? Well, you got to keep in mind, that's what we had making the band for with Diddy. So they brought back our singers from our childhood. I think one of them lived a normal life after their stardom, but most of them were already in the studio recording, being singers and all that. We're about 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm really enjoying it. Some drama, but you don't see heavy drama where they're pulling their weaves out of each other. The the point of the show is that they come together, they live in this mansion in Atlanta for 30 days, they come together, make an album, and then they have to do a live performance with their show business peers or whatever. And honestly, I think it's going to end well, in my opinion. I could be dead wrong. Only because they've done this before. So, but it's just different people. Aubrey O'Day and working with Don Woods and Don Richards and all that stuff. So, Keely Williams ain't working with Notori Naughton and Adrian Bailon, God forbid, because somebody threw some chicken or whatever. I don't know. It's the story I heard. But I think it'll end okay. It's very entertaining. I think it's bringing BET some revenue. Because, back for the last maybe like 5 or 6 years, we really didn't have good shows to watch on BET. We'll have like the games people play, which is coming back. Thank God. Games people play and all that stuff. So I'm very glad that they're revamping the programming over there at BET. But I did not watch the BET Awards. I was not busy doing anything that night. I just chose not to because when I was a kid, BET Awards was the exciting thing to watch. When Monique would host, she would be up there dancing to any latest Beyonce song. She was funny. She held it down. I knew who was going to be on that stage. Nowadays, I don't know who's who and what's what anymore because, again, I don't listen to the radio, so I don't know what's out. I know Benzino's daughter was there with her boyfriend that looks like that little cartoon guy Penny Proud used to date. I don't know his name. I don't know her name. But I know they were there. They gave the award to Queen Latifah. Congratulations to her. She deserves it because she's been around since freaking the 80s, okay? So let her have that. But I did see some clips on YouTube. They did not a memorial, but like a tribute to DMX. And it was nice because they had Meth, they had Busta, they had the Lox. My only thing with that performance was that I couldn't hear Busta. Maybe it was my TV, it was me, but I just couldn't hear him. And it did sound like a DMX performance. Maybe he was lip syncing. I don't know. I just couldn't hear him. But it was really, really nice. And they only had it on YouTube. And then like YouTube was doing like for ads performances. So just about yesterday or earlier today, I saw like the performance for the Migos. I like Migos. Nothing against Migos. It's just that maybe I'm that fan that just catches them when I catches them. I don't really hear from them that much. But congratulations also to Cardi B. She's pregnant with her second baby. So congratulations to her. She's a wonderful mother anyway. So congratulations. Another thing that came on TV or is streaming now, the Mary J. Blige documentary. I did watch that. I grew up on Mary J. Blige. It gave me a different perspective of Mary J. Blige, because when I was growing up, my auntie and my mom loved Mary J. Blige. And to me, I would always label her music as heartbroken auntie and mama music. So whoever your auntie or your mom's with, and they going with it, they're going through it in their relationship, they'll play her music, her heartbreak albums, her heart, all this stuff. And side note, my favorite Mary J. Blige album is Share My World. Everything is my all-time favorite Mary J. Blige song. Came out in 1997. Sounds so good 24 years later, okay? That's just my opinion. But the documentary, it basically talked about her album, My Life. It did go over some aspects of her growing up. And the thing that I kind of question, or, the question I want to ask is why? But I think the answer is obviously there, that she talked about her relationship with Casey. She was with Casey Haley, right? Yeah, Casey Haley. But I didn't know like the extent of that relationship. I didn't know it was abusive. I just remember, like, you guys gotta understand, auntie and heartbroken auntie and mama music. I didn't really pay attention to Mary J. Blige like that. No disrespect, Miss Blige, but when I was growing up, I went through phases of music. When I was a kid, I liked rap. I liked all types of stuff because shout out to the box. I didn't have the box. When I go over to my grandmother's house, she lived in the city. She had the box. They didn't play just hip hop music. They played country, they played heavy metal, they played rock, they played pop, they played this, they played that. So it was a variety of music. Mary J. Blige didn't really come on TV like that, but that's neither here nor there. The documentary was amazing. It was good. Mary looks great. It looks like she's doing well in life. Y'all got to keep in mind she just got a divorce from her ex-husband, Kendu, and this man pissed me off when I first heard the news because I remember the list they put on the internet of what he needed monetary wise for Mary. How the heck do you spend $100,000 on groceries a month? Where do you shop at? Whole Foods? Like, what do you get? Filet mignon? I don't understand. Like, whatever. Um, Check out the Mary J. Blige documentary. Great documentary. A lot of guests. Rest in peace, Andre Harrell. He was in there. Um, just a great production by Amazon Prime. It's actually the most streamed documentary on Amazon Prime. I cannot talk today. Why I don't know. But most streamed documentary in Amazon Prime history. Congratulations, Miss Blige. And again, check it out. Another show that hit the airwaves. Well, it didn't really hit the airwaves. The Tiana and Iman show, it's premiering on E. Now, they did have another show before on VH1. I think this show, Tiana and Iman show on E, is going to go very far. I like the premise of it. Tiana and Iman, they've been together for years. They love each other. They have 2 kids, 2 beautiful children, a beautiful home in Atlanta. So I just hope it premieres in about 50 days. So that's probably like, what, a month and a half from now. So whoever just did not catch the first viewing, check it out. It's coming out in September, I think. They let Bill Cosby free. I don't think he should be free. I do believe women, who the accusers, I do believe them because you know people don't blame just random people, and 30 plus, 40 plus. I just believe them because I don't know. I just believe them, and they let this man free, and he's trying to tour and just no. It's just an uncomfortable thing with Bill Cosby right now, and should he be free? I personally don't think so, but no. But we'll see how that works out. Rest in peace to Suzanne Douglas. She played the mother on a Parenthood. I really love that show. She also played Nikki Parker's sister on the Parkers. Fun fact, she's actually from the Southland, just like me. She went to Thornton Township High School, which is the same school district as my high school, Thornwood High School. So rest in peace to her. And she was always a class act. I loved seeing her on the big screen. Erica Jane. So if y'all don't know, I'm a big Bravo fan. I love Erica Jane. I love The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I love Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is divorcing her husband, Tom, of 20 plus years, and they're in some deep legal shit. Tom runs this big time lawyer company thing, law firm, I should say, lawyer company thing, law firm, and he's basically owing a lot of people millions. And because she was married to him, I guess she's involved. And there were reports that, Erica is covering up the divorce to cover up, I guess, the money situation. But watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I've learned that that's not true. Um, Basically, Tom, in layman terms, Tom kind of, disrespected Erica to a point where she left. Now, I wouldn't blame Erica. Now, some of the slow girls I know in my neighborhood probably would have looked at her situation and be like, girl, why you leave that mansion? Why you leave her Lamborghini? Why you leave? Look, all that stuff is material. It don't always make you happy. Okay? Now, if you watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she left that 13,000 square foot mansion. She left her Lamborghini. Now she drives one car probably, and she lives in like a itty bitty little house in the middle of LA, and she's happy. And she doesn't have to worry about her man disrespecting her in her house or, every day and all that stuff. But, they're still in some legal shit. Mr. Girardi, whatever his last name is, owes some money. I also heard he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So, well, I don't know how that'll play out. Um, Shakari, forgot her last name. I'm just gonna say this: y'all leave that girl alone. She didn't do anything wrong. Let her run. Y'all picking on her. Stop being bullies. The end of that. DMX's cause of death has been released. I hate to do this. I love DMX. I respect his family. But again, as a broadcaster, as a podcaster, it is my job. I do get paid to do this. His cause of death was due to a cocaine induced heart attack. And saying this kind of breaks my heart because I always rooted for DMX when he was getting clean. I rooted for him when I remember watching him leave that New York City courtroom after he was released from prison for tax evasion. I rooted for him for many years. Y'all, again, DMX came out when I was 3 years old. I've rooted for him for 20 years. And I guess addiction is really a demon. It is a true demon. And DMX is now at peace. I understand that he's in heaven. He was a God fearing man. He prayed every day. But, maybe they should not have released that as fans. I don't know, like, it really hurts just to know that. It's the same feeling. I got the same feeling when Whitney Houston passed away. Because I was rooting for Whitney too after she left Bobby Brown and all that stuff. I was really rooting for her. So when I found out she died of cocaine too, it feels like, man, I was really rooting for you, but I love you and you're at peace now. So I think that's how I feel. Lastly on my list is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I try not to watch a lot of that Love and Hip Hop stuff because, of course, it makes us look bad as African Americans. But it's just one thing that really stands out that everybody has been really talking about is Erica and Safari. I don't know how to say his name. I think Erica filing for divorce was kind of the right thing to do. Well, scratch that. It was the right thing to do. I think they're beyond past marriage counseling. I think Safari just didn't understand. Safari went on Love and Hip Hop and said he didn't know that raising a child, was a lot of work. Safari was single for a couple years. Of course, he was with Nikki for like 14 years. They didn't have any children. But yeah, Safari, that's how it goes, buddy. You have and raising children, and then you got your stepson. And I'm not supposed to be talking to anybody about children, so let me stop. But yes, raising children is there's two kids in the house. Well, three now. She had her baby, but I don't know if the baby's home from the hospital or whatever. But raising kids is a lot. It is. And now, outside of Love and Hip Hop, Erica, as I said before, did have the baby, but her baby is still in NICU. And where is Safari? Safari's in Jamaica partying it up. I honestly have lost a lot of respect for Safari. I'm not an Erica Mena fan at all. I'm not here to down her. She's doing her thing. I understand she got her businesses, she got her family, her got kids, all that stuff. But I'm on her side with this one. She's in the hospital by herself. And her estranged husband, father of that baby, is whooping it up in Jamaica. You look like a true ass, Safari. You are showing your ass. Your baby is in NICU. Sir, get it. I can't even tell you to get it together. Like, dude, really? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, man. If I was sitting and my baby was in NICU, I would want you beside me because it's so stressful. Damn, Safari. Damn, man. All right, y'all. That's it for me. I hope to speak to you all soon again. Excuse me. Follow me on Instagram, adashmariesonofthom on Instagram. Follow my podcast page, the official page of the podcast, Thompson and Stuff Official on Instagram. Purchase the books. The latest Meridian Dream is available on Amazon. Please get your copy. And I think that's it. I'm finna go eat this Wingstop, chill out, watch some movies tomorrow, hanging with the friends. So y'all enjoy this episode and let me know how y'all feel. Write me on Twitter, Instagram. I want to hear y'all thoughts. And also, we're working, getting the brand expanded. Right now, I'm looking to another opportunity. I will let y'all know what that is soon. Don't worry, more books are coming. Hopefully I can start my YouTube page. I just need a little help with that. I don't know nothing about YouTube. And also, I'm still debating it because, I don't really like to be on camera. I like to be mysterious, but I'm still thinking on that. Still thinking. And thank y'all so much for listening. I love y'all and peace.